Union coach Bradley Carnell just named MLS Coach of the Year. Of course, it's his first year with the Union. Led the team to a supporter shield, brought a new attitude, brought a new energy to the team. We'll talk more about that with one of his players in just a moment. Tom Loudon once again with me. Tom, tell people how we can get involved in the show.
Absolutely, Chris. Good to see you. As always, we want you to follow the show on Instagram at brotherly_lovefc. And don't forget, send us your soccer highlights. We'll have another great youth highlight later in the show.
All right, the Union going through the next round of the MLS Cup playoffs after a two-game sweep of the Chicago Fire. They're in, I guess, a long, kind of a rare break. This is a really long break for them, right?
It's crazy how long the break is. And I know there's reasons for it, but to be in the middle of the playoffs and say, oh, yeah, we'll see in a couple of weeks, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have one of the Union players. Thank you so much for joining us now, Union Midfielder Indiana Vassilev. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you joining the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. First of all, let's get into your soccer history. You grew up in South Carolina, Bulgarian parents, right?
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. Savannah,
you're
Georgia.
Fine. And then, so Bulgarian parents. Me and my sister are first-generation Americans. And obviously, when I grew up, it was just my dad knew soccer. He was from Europe. That's pretty much all I knew. Didn't really know much about baseball, basketball, American football. Those really weren't his sports. So that's kind of what I got into. So when I was, ever since I could walk, I was just kicking a soccer ball.
And you developed the game overseas, right?
Yeah, so when I was around 16, I moved over to England, and that's when I played with Aston Villa, and I was lucky enough to, kind of progress through their ranks and play with their first team in the Premier League, which was an awesome experience. And then after that, I came back stateside and played in MLS for a couple of years.
I know before Villa, you were at IMG, right? And I know there's a lot more and more youth players from this area looking to go down there. Parents looking like, hey, is that for my? If you were talking to a parent of a kid they're thinking about sending their child down there, what does that provide for them?
I mean, if you ever go down to that campus, it's
a college campus.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the facilities that they provide in terms of gym, schooling, living premises. I mean, it's amazing.
It's in Sarasota, Florida, right?
Correct. Yes, sir. And it's second to none. It's unreal. And listen, if there are players and they're very serious about their game and they want to perfect their craft, I would definitely recommend it. They have, like I said, the best facilities, some of the best, coaches in the nation. So it's definitely something that I would recommend.
What makes a parent and an athlete decide to go to that level? Where does that, because I'm always fascinated in getting to the next level and understanding how to get there.
For me, I think it's definitely internal. I think it definitely resides with the player. I think if you really want it and you really believe that you can do it, I think that's a route you have to take. For me, I'd say it was a little bit different. I think in Philadelphia, the scope is much bigger. I think there's much more exposure in Philadelphia. It's a much bigger city. I was in Savannah, Georgia, and I love my small little city in Savannah, but there's not too much exposure down there.
Right.
So that's partially why I made the decision to go to IMG. There's more eyes there, bigger scope, more people looking at you. So that was kind of part of my decision. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the differences that I would say.
And then you go to Aston Villa, which isn't a small kind of. I mean, you're playing at the top elite in England. Tell me about that experience and kind of what it brought to your career.
Listen, that was an amazing experience. Very humbling because you go from, like I said, Savannah, Georgia, kind of big fish, small pond. If I can say that, to England, Premier League, Aston Villa, big club, one of the biggest leagues in the world. It becomes very quickly, sink or swim, and I definitely tried to swim, and hopefully I can say I did that. But yeah, I mean, great experience. Played with a lot of world-class players, sharpened my game, and then kind of ran my course there and decided to come back to the MLS.
So bringing it back to today a little bit, we just mentioned Coach Carnell's Coach of the Year. You obviously were with him last year in St. Louis. Coming here, what do you think that he brings to the team? Playing with him for multiple years, you have more experience that it puts him in this position, and put you guys in the position you're in.
Yeah. First off, I think all the coaches were extremely deserving this year. I think Mike Ivaras is the coach of San Diego. They did really well this year, won the West. Jesper in Vancouver, he was also really good. They had a very good season. Me, I'm biased. I'm so glad Coach Carnell won. I think he deserved the win. So yeah, I mean, he's a player's coach. The players love him. I think when you have a coach who you want to play for, you're just internally motivated. You want to prove him right. You want to make him proud and make him look good. It means the world. And I obviously had him in St. Louis, and it was the same vibe. You know what I mean? He's a great coach. He brings a lot of energy. He brings like a bite to the team. Obviously, we play very aggressive. We play on the front foot. We want to press teams. We want to suffocate teams. We want to make them play in an environment that's so hard to handle. And I think he encompasses that a lot. And I think, the way he coaches us and the way he instills his principles, you can definitely see that throughout the team and how we play.
Do you see it more in the locker room or on the field? Is it the mentality, or is it the mechanics? And is it influenced, how you play?
I would say it's a bit of both. To touch on the locker room, I think we have a fantastic culture. And then I think that comes down to the players who were here prior, before Brad came, before the new players came. I think that comes down to the guys who were here prior, the Kai Wagners, the Andre Blakes, the Jacob Glesnes, the Alejandro Bedoyas, those guys who kind of cultivated a locker room in an environment where, you better work hard, you better show up every day, and if you don't, you're going to hear about it. And I think that's where it starts. I think the culture of any, I can say soccer locker room, but I can kind of say any workplace, if the culture is right, I think, everything else will follow.
So when you came over this year and you put yourself in that locker room and you've been around, how quickly did you know, like, okay, we have something here?
I was with Coach Carnell previously and that same coaching staff. And when I walked into that locker room, I wasn't sure, because I wasn't part of an MLS team who had been successful. And then obviously once we won the West with St. Louis, I kind of had an idea of what that looked like. And so it was pretty easy. Pretty quickly I stepped into this locker room and, with the leaders that are already there and kind of how everybody carries themselves, it kind of didn't take me too long to realize that, we could do something pretty special this year. And, we've been able to succeed in hitting our goals. But, we still, I think there's 3 more games. What is it, semis, final? Yeah, 3 more games to a cup, and that's kind of what we're focused on right now.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to stick around with us, and I want to hear how you got your name, number one, and what your favorite cheesesteak place is since you've been to Philly. So don't go away. Indiana Vassilev with the Philadelphia Union. Don't go away. Brotherly Love FC coming back after the break. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC. We want to congratulate Union defenders Kai Wagner and Jacob Glesnes. They have both been named to the MLS Best 11. It recognizes the 11 best players in the league by position. Now we caught up with Coach of the Year, Bradley Carnell, who talked about that recognition.
Because just the way the guys have given themselves to everybody here around the organization. But yeah, it's an intent, of what we're trying to do here. And we do everything with a lot of purpose and dedication. So I'm really proud of those guys. They've been magnificent to work with.
All right, we are back with Union midfielder Indiana Vassilev. Talk about Kai and Jacob, what they bring to the team.
I mean, the list can go on and on and on. So starting with Kai, he's got so much quality. He's got a magical left foot. Obviously, I don't know how many assists he has this year, but he's been unreal. Jacob's our leader in the back, strong every single game, super, super consistent. And pretty much the whole back line this year has been outrageous in a good way. I think we have the best defensive record. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to have 2. I think we have 2. Kai and Jacob have both won it 2 times, I think, best 11 of the year. And having a 3-time goalkeeper between the sticks also doesn't hurt your team at all. But yeah, I mean, those guys, they're amazing. And I could probably talk about our whole team, to be honest with you.
You mentioned Andre Blake. Well, you did, and Andre Blake. Talk about him a little bit. The energy he brings to every second of that game.
Yeah. I mean, he's a huge part of the team. He's been a huge part of the team. I think he will continue to be a huge part of the team because I mean, it seems like he keeps on getting better and better and better. And yeah, I mean, the accolades speak for themselves. 3-time Keeper of the Year. No one's ever done that before. So yeah, he's also sits next to me in the locker room, so I'm a lucky guy.
Nice.
So we'll find out tonight who you guys are playing next between Charlotte and NYC, but whoever it is has to come here. Talk a little bit about the home field advantage that you guys have playing at Subaru Park. Obviously, your first year here. What's that experience been for you?
I played here once with Miami, maybe in 2021 or 2022. And I told myself, man, I don't want to play here ever again if I'm an away team. It's just not fun, you know, if you're an away team. Now,
Yeah, right.
being on the other side of it, on the flip side, it's amazing. I mean, we get so much energy from them. They're loud pretty much at every second. Referees, I hope they don't make mistakes because they're going to know about it. So, yeah, I mean, we've been good at home. There's a reason for that. It's because our fans are behind us. They're loud. They're rowdy. We love them like that. And yeah, you know, hopefully we can continue to have their support.
Well, compare them to other teams in the league. I've seen a few empty stadiums, even in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Compare Philly crowd, the Sons of Ben, and to other stadiums you've been in.
Listen, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but what I will say is we had home advantage against Chicago. We won. We went to Chicago. I don't think us as a team, we were like, wow, like it's a loud, rowdy atmosphere. Now, that's also credit to Ty Baribo and Bruno Damiani. They did put us up 3-0 in 35 minutes, so I can understand how it's hard for the crowd to get into it.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I don't want to step on too many people's toes, but I'd put Sons of Ben and our home crowd up there, number one, without a doubt.
So we talk about the playoffs, and we've mentioned it a couple times, but it is what it is. There's a long break between for your next game. How do you approach that to stay sharp? And obviously you guys are in training and all that, but even just mentally, I mean, to be in the middle of a playoff and have to step back for a couple of weeks can't be easy.
It's definitely not easy, but I think, you know, we can fall back on our the competitive environment that we have cultivated throughout the whole year. I mean, every single training session, I mean, if you guys want to come out and watch it, every training session is, I mean, if you watch, like, I mean, the guys that are MLS 11 of the year, if you watch Kai Wagner and Jacob Glesnes in training, it's genuinely like we're playing an MLS Cup final. They want to win every single whatever activity that we do, they want to win. It's just the competitive edge that everybody has in this team. It just iron sharpens iron, you know, and like you said, it is tough to stay focused, but when you have a group of guys that we've had success this year, we know what brings us success, and that's not slacking off when we have it, you know, extra weeks.
Talking about that time, I was asking you before, what is a day in the life like of a professional athlete? Could you walk us through that day of training, getting up, and what your day is like?
Yeah, so it's waking up at 7 o'clock, getting to the facility about around 8:15. And listen, some days I do wake up later trying to get some extra sleep in there. Sometimes maybe I'm getting a little closer to that 9 o'clock cutoff, but for the most part, between 8:15 and 8:30, I'll try and get there. Then you do your prehab, make sure you're warm for training. And we'll do a team prehab. Training finishes at around 12:30. Then you do usually a gym session, whether that's upper body or lower body, that takes place after training. And then, yeah, you kind of do anything you can to make sure your body feels right for the next day, whether that's cold tub, hot tub, a massage, extra stretching, foam rolling, red light therapy. And then, yeah, get back home at around 2:30, and then you got to just, you know, find hobbies to do, you know, just to kind of get through the day. And
You a gamer?
My hand-eye coordination is nowhere near as good as my foot-eye coordination.
I was gonna say, all right.
So I tend to stay away from the games. Now, listen, if I was good and I could compete with my friends and I was the best, don't get me wrong, I'd definitely be on the controller and I'd be definitely talking some crap, but I'm just not good enough to compete in that environment, so I don't play too much games. Yeah.
So you mentioned the prehab and the rehab. Talk about what kind of advantage that complex that is down there, the Wisfis complex, gives you guys. I mean, I'm sure teams have different things, but they've built that up so much.
Yeah.
What advantage is that for the team to have all that right there?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a top-notch complex. You have everything at your disposal. So if you're not taking care of your body the right way, there's no one really to point a finger at other than yourself. And that's kind of what the union have provided for the players, and we're very grateful to be there.
How much does the other things come into play? We see you're on the field, maybe working out. What about nutrition? What about mental well-being?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. How much do the other things that most of us don't see come into play and into your life, and how important are those?
I think every small advantage that you can find, whether that's sleep, whether that's better nutrition, whether that's on the mental side, talking to a mental performance coach, whatever that is, every edge that we can try and get as a player, we try and do. And for me personally, I think the most important thing is, as a player, you have to want it. You have to go on that field and you got to tell yourself, like, the guy across from me doesn't want it as much as I do. And it sounds cliche, I get it. I know it sounds cliche, but that's you're at the end of the day, you're competing. There's one ball, you're going to put that ball in the back of the net. Defenders, you don't want that ball to go in the back of your net. Attackers, you want to score. And at the end of the day, I think it's easier for us at a professional level just to break it down and make it that simple, and it makes it more enjoyable, because as kids, all you know is you're running around and you're kicking a ball, that's all you know. And if you can simplify the game and make it easier for yourself, I think A, it becomes more enjoyable, and B, I mean, this year can speak for itself. Success does come.
We do a lot with youth soccer on the show. We like talking about it, and there's so many youth programs in this area. But your story is unique because you were able to go right from high school to pro. I'm just curious, like, at what age or what point in your growth did you go, wait, I might be able to do that? Like, I mean, that's obviously not normal, but it's a great opportunity. But at what age were you like, oh, that's a real thing I could do?
It's a good question, because I'm not even sure I know how to answer that myself. Yeah. It was kind of just, I was playing, then I got called up to some ID camps with the national team. I did that, and I felt okay, like that felt good. That wasn't something that I couldn't handle. And then from there, I guess it progressed to national team camps, and then from there it went to World Cup U17, and then from there, I guess it's just a ladder. You're just taking each rung, you just keep going up and up as it comes, and you kind of just take it in stride. And as brutal as it sounds, it is sink or swim. I think if I hit a certain level and I was like, oof, this is too much, I don't think I would have progressed. But then, like I said, it just wraps around, I think, to do you want it? And if I wasn't good enough in certain weeks, man, I'd be working my butt off that next week to try and, make up for what I feel like I lost the previous week.
And that's the difference between an athlete and a professional athlete. I mean, those are the intangible kind of things. All right, don't go away. We got another block. You stick around. You're going to stick around? You better.
Well, please.
You better. You're not leaving. The door's locked. All right, don't go away. We got more Indiana Vassilev coming back and more Union coming back after the break. And we have a youth soccer highlight. Don't go away. Brotherly Love FC. More to come. We have a little time left. Up next, we have our youth soccer highlight of the week. We're gonna talk a little World Cup in a little bit with Indiana Vassilev when Brotherly Love FC coming up. But check this out: Adidas revealing its largest ever collection of home kits ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The 22 uniforms. New designs inspired by the histories, the cultures, the landscape of each country competing. Adidas says they're actually featuring some new technology to keep players cool and comfortable across the biggest stage. Of course, North America, Canada, Mexico, the United States, Philadelphia, of course, hosting. All kits will be available now at select Adidas stores and its website. Prices range from $30 for hats to $130 plus for jerseys. You won't see the United States because they're
Nike.
They're Nike, so the United States will be coming. But all this World Cup stuff is coming into focus. Welcome back, Indiana Vassilev from the Philadelphia Union. Let's talk World Cup while we're talking about it. How big do you think this is going to be for the city of Philadelphia and growing the game of soccer here?
I think soccer has been growing. I think the lead up to the World Cup and obviously ongoing World Cup, once it's being played, I think it's just going to explode. Now, will it get as big as the other major sports in the United States? I really don't know, but I definitely think we're going to see growth. And in terms of just a game being in Philadelphia, or multiple games. I think it's
How many?
Games?
Five.
5 games in Philadelphia. I'll definitely be trying to get down to Lincoln Financial and watch some of those games.
So we've asked a few people, take the U.S. out of it. If you said that you get 2 tickets to a game and you could pick what team's coming here, what team would you want to see if not the U.S.?
Ooh. Probably Portugal, Argentina, or Spain. Portugal for Ronaldo, Messi, Argentina, and then I think the Spanish have a very, very good team. And Lamine Yamal is one of the best young players in the world. That's not even a question. So I would love to see him play. If I had to choose those 3 teams, or if I had to choose teams, I would give you those 3. If I had to narrow it down to one, maybe Argentina, just because it's Messi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the schedule up. Can we put that up again? This is the World Cup schedule starting June 14th.
So that's
these are the Philadelphia group stages.
Yeah.
And, I guess the big date that we're all looking at now is December 5th.
Yeah,
right?
so that was the 5 group stages. Then we have the knockout round of 16 on July 4th, which will be gigantic. It's the 250th birthday of the country, all that stuff. And December 5th down in Washington will be the draw, and that's when we'll know who's coming here, and things will get going. And after that, shortly, we'll see which team, if any, is going to be housed at Subaru Park, because that's a home spot for one of the teams. So, all that will start coming in.
Is that a definite?
Well, that's on the brochure. So one of the teams could pick that. I mean, I think I forget the number, but there's there's spots all over the country. So, and every country who's coming has to pick a spot to be their home base. And Subaru Park is a home base option.
All right, exciting stuff. Now, we talk about the highest levels of the game to the developmental. We always do this. We want to get your thoughts on a youth soccer highlight. Can we show, what do we got today?
We're going to the girls today, which I love. Keep sending those girls highlights in. This is a U13 Sporting AC Cecilia. The ball eventually makes her way out to her. A left foot strike. Goalie has no chance from the top of the box. Indiana, what do you think?
I mean, I would agree with the caption 100%. She is making it look a little too easy. That's what I would say. That's a fantastic finish. At that age, to bring it down from that height, put it on target. I know that was my issue when I was a kid. When I shot the ball, I don't think I would ever put it on target. So that's a great goal.
All right, so you've been in Philly now for how long? How long have you lived in Philly?
Ooh, I think I moved in around March.
Have you gotten a chance to get around? What are your favorite? What's your cheesesteak place? What's your go-to?
I was gonna say I've been around my fair few, cheesesteak spots. I live very close to Del Rossi's. Let me tell you, that's
extra time at the gym after that?
I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. It's a good thing, but it's almost too good of a thing. Gotta stop going there.
No, you don't.
I gotta stop going there, getting some cheese, and put a little on too much weight. So
after the playoffs. After the play, you can go as much as you want.
Oh yeah, but this is definitely not a plug, but they have fantastic cheesesteaks. Like I said, I got to stop going there.
Now, I promised people, I'd ask you about your name, Indiana. Where'd you get your name? Is it the state?
Yeah.
Where'd you get your name?
It is Indiana Jones, the film franchise, and honestly, I love that film franchise. I absolutely love it. I think I've watched every single film at least 4 or 5 times.
Really?
Every single film 4 or 5 times. When I'm bored, sometimes I'll just stick it on the TV. Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
So your parents must have loved the franchise.
My dad loved the film franchise. I mean, he absolutely loved it. Took some convincing, obviously, from my mom, to my mom, hey, can we name this, kid Indiana? Whisper first, hey, can we name him Indiana? And obviously, as it gains traction, but I'm super happy. It's unique, so I like it.
They call you Indy, right?
Indy, yeah.
Indy for sure.
Speaking of unique, now you have it. It's tame today, but the first thing when they mentioned you were coming in, I think of the stash.
Mustache,
when did that start? And what's the
it started as a spite stash.
Yeah.
My sister hated it. When it was, much shorter than this. She hated it. And she was like, get that thing off your face. It looks horrible. And I was like, okay. And that's all I needed. That's all I needed to,
Keep it.
just go with it. And I've had it for a long time now. So, It's weird. It's weird. Once you have it for a long time, you almost don't want to get rid of it.
It's got its own Instagram handle now, I hear.
Oh, does it?
No. It should, maybe at the start. All right, Indiana Vassilev, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate you. Good luck on the MLS Cup playoffs. Of course, we'll be following you. Who knows who you're going to play? We'll know that when?
Tonight.
We'll know that tonight.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks for
joining.
guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Come back, would you?
I hope so.
All right. Good luck. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Brotherly Love FC.